telling you actually about mainline versus regional as a flight attendant, just so you guys know the difference and you know exactly like what you want to do. What's up guys, welcome back to my channel, Krissy's Lifestyle. If you are new, hello to you. Thank you so much for stopping by and clicking on this video, and I hope you find my channel interesting enough to stay and subscribe down below. And if you're old, what's up guys, how are you guys doing? I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, whatever day I do decide to post this video. Excuse my voice, I am still hoarse, so if you don't hear me properly, I'll try to like put the volume as high as possible so you guys can actually hear what I'm saying. But yeah, so in today's video, you already see the title and the thumbnail. I will be showing you or telling you actually about mainline versus regional as a flight attendant, just so you guys know the difference and you know exactly like what you want to do. Because when I first started off as a flight attendant, I did not know the difference between the two, so this is me helping you out. So if you want to see more, keep on watching guys. So when I first started as a flight attendant, I honestly didn't know anything. I didn't know what I was getting into. I didn't know anything. So that's the reason why I went to a flight attendant school, and I'm gonna like try to give you guys more information on that in probably another video, like my flight attendant school. But just to say, you don't have to go to a flight attendant school. You can just apply to whatever airline you guys want to, and I tell everyone that daily when they ask me. I just always tell them that. Anyways, so I did not know, and I definitely didn't know the difference between mainline and regional, and I didn't even know there was such a thing. I thought airline was airline, they all go probably the same places, and you know, same pay and all of that. So like I didn't know all of that, but even though I did like research, like I did do research and stuff. But anyways, I have my little book here that I wrote down things that I think are important that you should know the difference between a mainline and a regional. So we are going to start with regional. So I first started off with a regional airline, and so the first I'm going to start off with, if you don't know the difference between a mainline and a regional, so a mainline is basically a company that owns their planes, that just like that are more independent, and a regional airline is one that does not really own their own, what should I say, does not really, I wouldn't want to say own their own aircraft, but they work on their, like they're like a subsidiary of a major company. So like just think about it: mainline, independent; regional, dependent. That's like, my mom's in the background talking, oh my goodness. Anyways, just think of it as this: mainline, independent; regional, dependent, or whatever. So anyways, that's like the big difference between a mainline and a regional. Okay, so the next difference is, with a regional airline you have short flights, right? And with a regional airline you have short flights, and with a mainline you have longer flights. So because mainline, they're independent or whatever, they go to farther places and stuff like that. They have bigger planes, they go to farther places and stuff like that. Whereas regional, they're smaller, they don't go too far and stuff like that. Anyways, and when they fly, they have, when I say shorter flights, I mean like, okay, their flights are like 45 minutes, an hour, 2 hours. The longest flight a regional carrier would have is probably 3 hours. It wouldn't be longer than that. And mainline flights are longer. They're like 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, like 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours. So that's like a big difference. Another difference is regional airline flies mainly regionally. Like they go to smaller airports, they fly basically around the US, because I live in the US, so they fly mainly around the US, and they fly to smaller airports, whereas a mainline airline, they fly to bigger airports. They fly internationally as well, so they'll go to places like Beijing, China, they'll go to London, they'll go to Paris, they'll go to Germany, all these sorts of places. And they also fly around the US, but they go to the bigger airports in the US. So the bigger airports are like Atlanta, New York, Orlando, and you know, like the real popular places that you would hear about in the US, they go to places like that. So and next difference between mainline and flight attendant is more flight legs. So with flight legs, sorry, with a regional airline, so you're in regional, right? With a regional airline, they have more flight legs. When I say more flight legs, I mean, okay, you'll do at least 5 or 6 flights in one day, literally, I kid you not. You'll probably go, let's say your base is Orlando, so you probably go from Orlando to Atlanta, Atlanta to New York, New York to Ohio, Ohio to Chicago. That's like how it's gonna be. With a regional, you have more flights in one day, which is more legs. And then with a mainline, you have lesser legs. You have like, the most legs you'll probably have with mainline is 4 or 3, some 3, but it's like, okay, they'll do one flight, let's say they'll do one flight to London, and that's for the day. Like, they'll stay there and stuff like that. Or if it's around the US, they'll do like a turn and back or something like that. So with mainline, you have less flights a day, less legs, less flight legs a day. Another thing with regional flight attendants, you have 1 to 3 flight attendants working. So there's some airplanes, like regional airplanes, that are smaller that only requires 1 flight attendant. Some of them requires 2, and some of them requires 3. And with the mainline, you have at least 3 to like 10-15 flight attendants working on one airplane, because the planes are so big, so many people, like 300-400 people. So, and the ratio in the airline industry is 1 flight attendant to 50 passengers. So for every 50 passengers, you need a flight attendant. So that's how it is, just in case you guys didn't know, that's how it is and stuff like that. So yeah. So moving on, responsibilities. So with a regional airline, you have more responsibilities, because guess why? It's less flight attendants. So the airline that I had worked for in the beginning, when I first started, it was 1 flight attendant. So I was the only flight attendant working with my airline, and it was just me, and I had to do everything by myself because it's just me, and you have more responsibilities. If it's 2 persons, you still have a lot of responsibilities, but with a mainline, you have less responsibilities because there's more flight attendants. So the responsibility is just distributed equally among everyone, and you don't have to do everything all by yourself, and you don't feel pressured or drained at the end of the day and stuff like that. So that's like another big, you know, thingy. Anyways, so another thing is reserve. So reserve with a regional is shorter. If you don't know what reserve is, basically when you first start off as a flight attendant, they put you on what is called reserve. Reserve means you're going to be on call until you build your seniority to become a line holder and to hold a line. At my previous airline, I was on reserve, then I became a line holder, but on my new airline, I'm back on reserve because I had just started with them last year. But anyways, so with regional, your reserve period is pretty short. You can be on reserve for anywhere 3 to 6 months on reserve. The longest you'll probably be on reserve with a regional is 1 year or so. And with a mainline, guy or girl, let me tell you, you can be on reserve for as long as 15 or 20 years. You can be on reserve. And if you guys ask any flight attendant, nobody likes reserve, nobody likes to be on reserve. You can be on reserve for freaking years with a mainline. That's why people don't like work for mainlines too, because they are on reserve for too long, and it depends on where you're based. If you go to bases that are popular like California, Orlando, Atlanta, those bases, you will be on reserve for years. Trust me, you're on reserve for years. That's the only thing I hate about like mainline or whatever. But anyways, moving on to pay. So obviously a mainline pay is better. Like, it is better, like, I'm not even gonna lie. Mainline, they pay you higher than a regional carrier. A regional carrier would probably start you off with like $17 or $18. They'll start you off with that per hour, which is not bad if you don't have responsibilities. It can work out for you, and if you have a line and you're flying a lot, it can still work out. But they start you off with like that per hour, like let's say $17 per hour or $18 per hour, and a mainline would start you off with at most $26 an hour. They would start you off, that's your starting pay, and then as you go up in the years it increases to like 30 something, 40 something, 50 something. Some airlines stop at like 60 something dollars per hour for flight attendant, so it all depends. So that's like one of the reasons why a lot of people go for mainlines, because they pay better. And also there's this thing called per diem, and your per diem is time away from base. So even though you have your pay, like your actual pay per hour, every hour that you're away from your base, even when you're sleeping at your hotel and stuff like that, you get $1 or sometimes $2 extra added onto that. Regional, it's lower. Mainline, it's higher. So mainline will pay you like $2-3 extra an hour, and regional will pay you like $1 or $2 an hour. So it all depends on which airline you do work for. So the next thing is benefits. So with a regional airline you have less benefits. With a mainline you have more benefits. With a regional airline, your flight benefits are limited for you and your family. It just depends on which regional airline though, because some regional airlines have dual benefits with different airlines, which is actually pretty good. But it is limited though. But with the mainline you have so much more benefits, it's ridiculous. Like you have benefits all over the place. You have benefits at phone companies, car rental places, and like a whole bunch of other like stores, shoe stores and stuff like that. You have so many benefits. It's ridiculous. So yeah, that's like a big difference with the mainline and regional. So we're getting down there. So I think the final point, oh yeah, the final thing that I want to talk about is number, being a number. So with a mainline, you're honestly just a number. Like when I say you're honestly just a number, it's like each worker is assigned an employee number, right? So your employee number is your number. That's how they know who you are, by your employee number. So with a mainline, because mainline is so big and there are thousands of flight attendants working for that company, they're not going to learn everyone's name. They're not going to know you personally. You meet so many different flight attendants every single day. You're not 100% guaranteed to fly with the same person you flew with yesterday the next day. So to them you're just a number. But with regional, it can be more than that because it's smaller, and the funny thing is you fly with your pilots and stuff like that over and over again, because like it's just not much flight attendants and stuff like that, and they honestly take time at some regionals to like get to know you. So your managers would know your name. So like you're walking down the concourse, so your manager will be like, hey Krissandra, or you know, nice to see you again Krissandra, or stuff like that. Like they take time to know you and stuff like that because they're smaller. So of course they're gonna know you, they're gonna know your name and stuff like that. So yeah, anyways, I think I've come to the end of being a mainline flight attendant versus a regional flight attendant. So if you are thinking about becoming a flight attendant, I would definitely say weigh your options, look at the pros and cons. And because people complain about regional airlines, but regional airlines are not all bad. There's still some good to it, you know. I mean, if you're an older person, I would say, and you like the comforts of being by yourself, or you don't like the hassle of having or working with a bunch of people, then you can definitely go for a regional. But if you're young, you want to travel, you want to see the world, then definitely go for a mainline. You will love it, you won't regret it or whatever. But yeah, those are like the differences. So I hope you guys really weigh your options and do your research and stuff. And if you have any more questions, you can comment down below, or you can message me privately and just let me know what other questions you have, and I will definitely answer them. I decided to make this video because there's so many people that ask me every single day how to be a flight attendant, how to do this, how to do that, everything pertaining to flight attendant. So like I want to like give you guys so much more. So if you guys want, like, if you guys have more questions concerning flight attendant life and flight attendants, then you can definitely let me know. And also I will link a couple of my other flight attendant videos down below, especially how to become a flight attendant. I will link it down below so you guys know, and you guys can go watch it and see how to go be a flight attendant. So anyways guys, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share to your friends, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys. Okay guys, so I am in the first outfit. Oh, this lighting is so pretty. Oh wait. Shoes. You guys can see the shoes.